In northern Burkina Faso, armed groups control entire regions. In Somalia, power shifts hands not at the ballot box, but at the barrel of a gun. South Sudan is rebuilding from ashes, while parts of Nigeria battle insurgents with no end in sight. These aren't just isolated conflicts, they're fractures, lines drawn deep into the soil of a continent whose people are tired of bleeding. And yet, flights still cross African skies every hour. Planes carrying people, goods, and minerals. Yes, minerals. Cobalt, gold, uranium, lithium, the same resources that power your smartphones, your electric cars, your industries. They're extracted here. But their value, that's shipped out to Paris, to Beijing, to Washington. Imagine a continent so rich, the ground you walk on could fund nations. Now imagine those riches being mined, loaded, and exported without ever building the roads, schools, or hospitals you need. That's the reality. Africa loses billions every year in illicit financial flows. Deals made in quiet rooms, contracts signed in foreign languages. And when the dust settles, only the scars remain. The Central African Republic, the Democratic Republic of Congo, Guinea, Sudan. They all tell the same story. Different pages, same book. And here's the painful truth. Africa's greatest challenge may not be foreign interests. It may be the silence of its own leadership. Months ago, a respected scholar called on the African Union, not for aid, not for sympathy, but for one simple thing: a meeting, one agenda. How do we stop the bleeding? Only a handful responded. The rest stayed quiet. Why? Because silence is easier than action. Because unity demands courage, and courage is rare in halls where power is hoarded, not shared. Elections across the continent have become battlegrounds. Democracy, a promise, twisted into a gamble for control. When power becomes a life or death game, the people always lose. Ballots become bullets, rallies become riots, opponents vanish, protesters are silenced. And through it all, leaders cling to office like lifeboats in a storm, forgetting that real leadership is steering into the storm, not running from it. Until governance becomes accountable, no amount of international aid will fix what's broken. Africa cannot outsource its future. Now let's go deeper, because this is not just political, it's cultural. Centuries of colonization left more than broken borders. They left mindsets of dependency, division, and delay. We argue over language, over tribes, over borders we didn't draw. Meanwhile, others walk in, take what they want, and leave behind chaos. It's time for a reckoning, not just with the West or the East, but with ourselves. Africa must choose to remain divided and dominated, or united and unapologetic. This isn't a call for pity. This is a challenge to the youth rising across Lagos, Nairobi, Dakar, to the entrepreneurs in Kigali, the farmers in Accra, the teachers in Addis. You are the future. And the future will not be built in boardrooms alone. It will be built in classrooms, at town halls, through digital revolutions and grassroots movements. Africa doesn't lack talent. It lacks trust. Trust in institutions, trust in each other. But that can change, and it must change, if this continent is to become what it was always meant to be. A powerhouse not of potential, but of progress. So no, it's not enough to pray, not enough to hope. Africa will rise, but only when Africans decide to rise together, not by permission, not by pity, but by purpose. The time to act is now.